What's up, my boy?
What's happening?
Man, just another episode. I know we've been gone from the scene for a couple of weeks. Life been lifing, but we got time today.
We got time today. And you got that video I sent you? Oh my God.
Yeah, we about to get right to it. Hang on a second.
Where's my damn phone? Shit, here it is.
We go
What's
ahead.
up, everybody?
Yo, before we get into it, we're gonna go ahead and run this video.
Damn.
Let's go. Don't go. What audio?
I'm not doing anything.
She says I'm not doing anything with it. She fits in my business. Your brother?
Why are you holding me like this? I'm not resisting. How am I resisting? You have me in handcuffs. How am I resisting?
Uh,
Mhm.
what is going on, man? Why do you think? Why do you think that we're starting to see a lot of these types of situations, these interactions where look like black women are dealing with law enforcement in these type of situations? What's your take on it? What were you thinking when you saw this video and said, "Hey, put this up for the show tonight"?
Well, the first thing is that the black fatigue is very real.
Mm.
People are tired. They're absolutely tired of KKK Keisha.
Hmm.
Now, the government has really been taking back their benefits and the things that our demographic of women have been able to capitalize on, and all of their incentivized bad behaviors is just unacceptable at this particular point. Nobody even wants to deal with it. Nobody wants to deal with it. So what we're watching right now is it's a spoiled child that nobody wants.
Ooh, man. I was wondering where you was gonna go with that when you said, "Hey, use the video," because I think you could look at it a couple different ways, right? You could look at it like it's an isolated incident, but we know that that's not the case at all, you know. And we can look at it like, you know, I haven't really seen anything happening with Spirit like that, other than people complaining about it, and in the past. But truthfully, I haven't seen anybody have really anything to say about the quality of experience that they've had with traveling with Spirit. So I know she's not the first person to get kicked off. I know she's not the first black woman. I know she's not the first woman. We've seen it all up and down, but like this government shutdown thing, I'm not sure what day it's been. It is right now. I think the last time we talked, it was like on day 19. I'm pretty sure it's closer to day 26 now or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
How do you think it's gonna get worse?
Yes, I think it is. I think that it's going to get worse before it gets better.
Yeah, so we haven't even seen the worst yet.
Well, because even with the degeneracy of the YNs in our culture, in the Pookies, for every Pookiesha there's a Pookie. So it's just zero tolerance for bullies. Because the truth is that the only reason why our demographic, the worst of us, is able to demonstrate this type of behavior is because there's been laws that protected them.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? Now, I'm not saying that, of course, when it comes to police brutality and these things, like, we ain't got our issue, because we gonna get our issue. we don't have the privilege to act the goddamn fool. However, there still has been some grace through laws for us to act out in other, other capacities. They're not. Nobody wants to deal with it. It's too much struggle all across the board from a society standpoint. Everybody is robbing Peter to pay Paul at this point, and everyone's just too tired to allow anybody to act the goddamn fool.
Yeah, the bullying part is it's not as discussed the way it needs to be discussed. Like, yeah, we hear about cyberbullying, we hear about the topic of bullying in general, but rarely do we hear how the rest of the public is being bullied by this behavior too, because you can't say anything to anybody. It's going to end poorly. Nobody's going to take any type of constructive criticism or anything directly, you know what I'm saying, the way they should take it. And it's all going to come to a situation like what we just saw in that video, where somebody's going to handle you. I talk about that man in uniform concept all the time, and it played out just then too. The way you handle a situation when somebody approaches you is going to determine how fast you're going to meet the man in uniform, because you're going to deal with somebody in uniform at some point, and it's going to be a man. Nobody right now is expecting this surge of women to come out of nowhere and deal with these types of women.
Go ahead, play that video. Play it again.
Okay, I'll run it back. Let's see here. We go right back to it, because you're right, bro. Like, eventually you're gonna have to deal with this stuff, and the government ain't playing no games. Don't matter how people feel about it, from Chicago to DC to Memphis. All of these things, they might call it ICE, or they might be looking at it from a race-driven situation, but ultimately, Uncle Sam and them, they trying to get back to some level of control with this administration, and they're not playing no games. And here's a residual.
I'm not doing anything. I'm not doing anything.
Hey, stop.
I'm not doing anything.
Do you hear what she's saying?
I'm not doing anything.
What does that remind you of?
I would say it reminds me of a couple of things, right? I've seen people in comments when a police brutality situation happens, and it's a young black male or something saying, I didn't do nothing. And then I see people in the comments in the comments probably leaving some racially charged comments saying the same thing. But it sounds like a kid that don't want to accept the consequence for their behavior, though, overall. Shout out to Brian. He just said a child. Right.
Shout out to everybody in comment. It sounds like a child. Like, I'm not doing anything. I'm not doing anything. I'm not doing anything. This is what happens when you're not held accountable.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Look, man, they're the only group that doesn't get held accountable. I mean, look what happened to Don Trey when he was 19 years old and he committed a crime.
Don Trey saw the man in uniform.
Don Trey went on a little vacation for 4 years.
Mm-hmm.
They always get a slap on the wrist.
Yep.
I was on this podcast and we was talking about, and we'll go back to the video. We were talking about social constructs, right?
Right.
And social constructs is basically anything that society deems as okay, whatever it is.
Right.
And one thing that society has deemed okay was for black women to act really bad in public.
Mm-hmm.
Or
For
women in general, shit, maybe.
Yeah, for women to act out in public, you know what I'm saying? And bro, there's a video floating around on TikTok where this lady was a door dasher, and she went to go deliver some food, and the customer left the door open, and she claimed to have seen him with his pants down around his ankles, and he was passed out. But she went in the man's house and then acted like she had been essayed by him. DoorDash fired her.
That's what we doing now.
Yeah, it was a wild story. You know what I'm saying? But she took that situation and went running around on TikTok about it and making it a big deal. DoorDash got up out of there, and then she was mad at DoorDash for walking into this man's house and catching him in a vulnerable moment and then twisting it into some story in her head. You know, like it's so far gone with the perception of women in general. And I always say this, man, women are more dangerous to men than the police because they don't even have to tell the truth. They can make up something. They can feel like somebody's about to do something to them and then make it everybody else's issue.
Yeah, I mean, you're definitely guilty until proven innocent if you're a man.
Yep. And this the crazy part. Everybody know what I'm saying is true, but we can't talk about it without it sounding like we're the ones acting like women are the boogeyman. But we know people that have had a negative experience with a woman making up some kind of reputation destruction lie. And then when you see situations like the one that's in this video, you know that they will go to the ends of the earth to be right. And if it requires them, you know what I'm saying, stepping on everybody in their path, they will do it.
Without hesitation.
Just pure manipulation, man. And also, too, I've been saying you can't blame women for being women. Like, the ones that fit this behavior, you cannot blame them for being women. They was playing with dolls, man. They lie to each other about their appearances. They can adopt somebody else's storyline and think it's about them, and they can claim that what they do has no impact on anybody else, all while raising children and saying, "I want my kids to be just like me," and completely dismiss the part where their selfish and childish behavior also goes with that too. So it's amazing to me how they can always separate the things they care about the most, and like in explanation, and go through the hoops and hurdles to make it to be true when it's easy to just do the right thing. And that part will never make sense. Ever. Like it's kind of disturbing over a period of time though. You know what I'm saying? Because eventually people start getting offended by it. Because you start hindering things that people are traditionally comfortable with doing. Even down to like here's an example of how nothing's going to change until you start seeing women get offended by it, and how they treat each other is another thing too. Because if you got a daughter or any kind of kids, you see that your kids are in closer proximity to being handled like, you know what I'm saying, in the worst case scenario, by a woman. Like Jake.
Oh, by far.
Two.
Three. Thanks.
Well,
I'll say three. I would say three and
I'm
then
gonna say
four.
three.
I'm not saying you don't have a personality, but I'm leaning.
Oh, I'm 5 again.
So this is final? This is final.
Yeah, they're some rude motherfuckers.
You go over there, and then like just shift down. Could you switch with her?
I switch her and her. You go over there. All right.
Oh, those two. Okay. All right.
And then you over there. You sort of. Yeah, that's pretty much.
We're gonna get ripped a new one.
I don't want to be the pointer here.
Guys are not afraid to be more blunt. They were straight up, hey, you're attractive, you're not. But girls were like, I don't want to be rude, you know, we're all beautiful in our own way.
Well, I was at 5, and now I'm here, so I'm like, thank you. I don't know, it's very interesting, I feel.
I think when I think of a male viewing me as attractive or not versus a female, it's definitely different. Because in a male setting, judging me, I knew that was gonna happen. Like, I'm not stupid, so like, I'm aware of how others view me. I was surprised at them placing me at the bottom, but
it's an evil world we live in.
People want to start getting closer to reality, man. That's just it. You know what I'm saying? Like, until you get closer to reality, you're going to experience a lot of chaos. And that's what you're seeing with a lot of people, man.
Yeah, a lot of the chickens are coming home to roost.
Mm-hmm.
Like all that faking and shaking and all that bull crap that they be talking, that don't mean anything, bro. Like, the world don't care about your feelings, man. They used to care about women's feelings a little bit, then women stopped being women. When they socially engineered these women to practice masculine behavior, shit, and now motherfuckers don't give no, ain't chivalry, and the motherfucker don't want to open up a door for your ass.
Right.
So they getting hit with the real, but to your point, women do not live in reality. They don't like it here. They don't like it here. They look, I got on a hat.
Yeah.
I'll take this motherfucker off. I will go from LL to Little Bill in the matter of motherfucking seconds, bitch. I accept who the fuck I am.
Right.
If I stand up in this motherfucker, you probably see my goddamn feet.
Hey.
Look, nigga. You see how motherfucking tall I am? Everything in this is like a mini crib, nigga, and I look big in this motherfucker, man. we are forced to accept our flaws, and we have to develop personality and all this other shit. We have to literally be rejected. Like, the experience of a man is literally to be fucking rejected, man.
Yeah, man. You know, when I came out there to kick it with you a couple weeks ago, you know, we had a lot of conversations, you know, in between us doing some content and stuff. And truthfully, that is the only way. The only way you go through life is you're gonna get told no far more times you're gonna get told yes. You're going to have to convince more people and you know that you are what you are. You either have to convince them with your work ethic. You're gonna have to convince them with you know, like with your interpersonal skills. You got to have something that somebody wants.
You got to have something that somebody wants.
Because if you claim to be valuable, then what's your value if ain't nobody scooping it up? Are you priced too high? Or do you have anything that anybody wants?
I sent you a couple more videos to your
I already downloaded them. Get ready to load them up here in a second. I want to play this one right here.
Benefiel walked into court this morning, as you see right there, charged with murder. Police tell us this whole thing began when 21-year-old Kentrell Settles and his girlfriend were in a car waiting to turn at 38th and Georgetown. The light turned green. But Benefiel, who was in the car in front, didn't go. So police say the Settles, he honked his horn and drove around the car. Investigators say Benefiel followed the couple, and they say she shot through their back window, hitting Settles. He died at the hospital.
This was literally just a simple honk of the horn between two people who didn't know each other, a seemingly insignificant incident that happens every day in our community. Only this time someone lost their life.
In court today, Benefiel was given a no-contact order against Settles' girlfriend and was not granted bond due to the murder charge. Benefiel did say she had a meeting today to hire an attorney.
Like the wise philosopher from the 21st century once said, Victor Vincian, who's protecting women from women?
Like what's the answer?
Malcolm said the black woman is the most unprotected woman in America.
Boy,
right?
yes, he did
that in the 20th century.
Yeah.
The 21st century, Victor Vincian said, who's protecting women from women?
So because like you would think that the way that women claim that they're under some level of threat from men on a constant basis, right? That women would be on the same sheet of music and be protective of each other. But we know that that is not true. And I'm going to run it down because most interpersonal violence or domestic violence between men and women obviously occurs from them knowing each other. There's very rare occasions where there's a man waiting in the bushes to jump out on some random woman and put hands on her, right? That's where the bear in the woods thing came from, right?
Yeah.
But those things get reported typically after the fact. There's already been some incidents here and there, right? But what they don't talk about is why there's so many women's shelters. And I believe most of them come from the fact that a lot of mothers beat on their daughters and then put the daughters out and they got to go to a shelter because there's way too many single men that's not in a relationship at all for them to be in a domestic situation. There's too many men with no children that are not in any relationship with the same women, but for women to think that men are the boogeyman like that. But when you look on social media and look up all and down your timeline, what do you see more of? Do you see more fight videos between men fighting each other or more fight videos between women fighting each other?
Yeah. He said, usually no man in the house. That's what my man Luke said.
So
usually no man in a motherfucking house.
So women are naturally more violent and competitive with each other because if there's no man in the house, then those children that grow up with that type of mother are dealing with a violent mother that they eventually had to fight. I have never met a black woman that grew up in a house, in a single mother household, that didn't have to fight their mother at some point, that didn't have to fight their sisters.
Oh yeah, man. Yeah, and they the ones that do the most whooping too.
Yeah, good. Yeah, you talked about that. They won't stop. I talked to, man. I got another video at some point I'm gonna pull up, but I want to keep making this point though. That other video I sent you, I'm gonna pull it up to those two women fighting each other at 2 a.m. in the street and then getting hit by a car.
I was at work when you sent me that. I was looking at it at my desk like, I apologize to the audience for me to even have the audacity to be shocked at anything that I see on social media right now.
Yeah.
But I guess I still have some innocence left.
Because because you have to, bro. Because like some of this stuff you just cannot make it up. And for the audience, matter of fact, let me go ahead and go to that video right now.
You see that, Craig? You see what Dog said?
What he said? Hold up. Hang on a second. Where he at?
Right there, Luke Jenkins. I just put it on the screen.
Damn. Hey, look, I came. You see, like that's why I said it first, because it doesn't matter if I show it to you. You're gonna be like, play it again, because I can't believe that there's got to be AI. I thought it was AI. It took me for a second. I downloaded like 3 different videos to make it make sense to me, because I just didn't want to believe that we this far gone. Now I'm gonna play what the police said first. Okay, let me pull this up real quick, because this ain't gonna make sense to nobody.
I saw them pulled over, try to call the police, but unfortunately there was a red sedan driving potentially the speed limit in lane 1 that ran them both over.
Houston police say they are looking for a driver they say hit and killed 2 women.
Officers tell us the women were in the street when they were hit along Cullen near Belfort and Reed. Courtney Carpenter has been speaking with investigators about this. She joins us live with the very latest in what we've learned. Good morning, Courtney.
Hey, good morning to you, Rita and Samika. Investigators just left the scene around 10 minutes ago, so Cullen is now back open. And according to HPD, this all happened right here around 3:30 this morning, right here in front of the Cullen Food Mart. Now, according to the sergeant on scene, these 2 women, one was in their 30s, the other possibly in their 50s, got into a fight. The fight carried out into the middle of the street. At some point, police say they were on the ground fighting right here by the median. That's when police say a red car came through and hit them both, killing them.
Some people saw them pulled over, try to call the police, but unfortunately there was a red sedan driving potentially the speed limit in lane 1 that ran them both over and caused fatal injuries. And then that sedan proceeded to continue down the street without stopping and rendering aid.
The sergeant says they do have some surveillance video of this happening, but it's not clear enough for them to release what kind of car it was just yet. He says this car likely will have some damage to the front corner. This morning, he says they're continuing to look for more video and, of course, for that driver who took off. Now, so far, we don't know the names of the women who were killed out here or what they were fighting about this morning. The sergeant does tell us, though, they are known around here and says they've actually gotten in fights before.
Now here's the footage. So you see her going out in the street. I was like, who's she going to go walk and talk to? Then I start seeing the other person show up. And they getting in tussling. Ain't no audio on this. They getting down with each other. Can't really tell who winning. Then I think then the chick with the white shirt get taken down. Then I was waiting. I was like, where the headlight flash is gonna come up at? There it is right there. Get ready. Somebody turn out the way, and then here comes the other car right about now. Bruh, you can't make this up. I keep saying this, man. Who is protecting women from women? Because in that situation right there, even in what if the driver's a woman too? What if the driver of that car is on paperwork? And now a hit and run is a felony. So what if that was the third strike for that person? What if they was exactly where they shouldn't have been when it happened? You know what I'm saying? That's why I tell men don't argue with these women, because if you take men out of all their problems, they are major problems for each other. The number one threat to a woman is another woman. Because even when they arguing with you as a man, you know what I'm saying, just speaking in general, They're only arguing with you because they typically got a better chance of not getting any type of physical retribution from it, because they know another woman will pull up on them.
That's generally the truth. I was talking to a woman yesterday. She told me that she fight men, and she won almost every fight that she's been with a man. So,
because they already know that the man ain't trying to really fight them like that. Some do, but they stand a good chance of a man kind of taking it easy. You know what I'm saying? Versus anything else. But they are. But when they pull up and fight a woman, they know ain't nobody coming to break it up. So it's really a cowardly act when you think about it.
They the biggest cowards. They'll they will start a fight, lose the fight, and then play the victim.
Yep, and act like the other person started because they weren't prepared. Now I said, let me go find one more video on this because I just had to hear somebody else talk about it.
News this morning, Houston police officers are searching for a driver accused of hitting and killing 2 women. Investigators say the women were fighting in the street moments before they were struck.
So this happened near Cullen Boulevard and Larkspur Street, which is shut down right now while police investigate. Let's check in with our Brittany Jeffers, who's in the newsroom to tell us more about the investigation. And Brittany, who they're looking for.
Yeah, guys, within the last 30 minutes, we did get an update from HPD. And so this is what we know right now. They say those 2 women were fighting. They say this ultimately spilled into the street, and at some point the 2 started wrestling in the lanes of Cullen Boulevard. Investigators say a driver who was headed southbound then hit both of them and kept going. Now, we do have a crew at the scene right now. Let's take a live look. You can see several HPD officers and units there at the scene. Crime scene tape set up in front of this food mart there. They're walking around collecting evidence here, and investigators say this crash happened a few hours ago, around 3:45 this morning. Witnesses reportedly saw the women rolling around on the ground fighting. They tried to call police. Investigators say that one of the women was believed to be in her 30s, the other in her 50s. Tragically, they both died at the scene. Investigators say they don't know why the 2 were initially fighting, but witnesses say it is not the first time that they've been in a fight like this. At this point, police have not released their identities. Now, as far as the driver, police believe that they were in a red sedan. They say they do have surveillance video that they are reviewing right now. They say there's likely damage to the front end of this vehicle. So if you know anything about the crash, if you were in the area or have seen the vehicle, contact police immediately.
So it ain't AI, because a lot of people like to say, nah, somebody made that up. You know what I'm saying? Like, that don't make any sense. Yeah, it does. That where we are in the social space of what women are capable of and what they're willing to do, the stuff they do to their own kids is wild. You know what I'm saying? But to pull up on somebody at 3 a.m. or whatever time, why was you outside?
It's the age gap for me. That could have been.
Yeah, like what? Okay, let's explore that, right? I mean, everything's up for discussion at this point. You know what I'm saying? So this is like a 20-year age gap. Is that what I heard? A 30-some-year-old woman and a 50-some-year-old woman.
They all the same.
Yeah. Who can be relied on for level-headed thinking? If you got 30-year-old women and 30 and 50-year-old women fighting each other at 2-something in the morning. Like, I asked somebody I put a question on TikTok the other day. When was the last time you saw a classy woman? How long has it been since you've seen a classy woman? Like, I'm talking about a woman that's covered up, speaks life everywhere she goes. Nobody has anything negative to say about her. And she one of the personality types, like, if you say something bad about her, everybody automatically knows something wrong with you. When's the last time you've been around a woman like that?
We don't society doesn't raise those brands. Like, we don't produce those type of brands of people.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you ever heard somebody used to say back in the day, he a different brand.
Yeah.
He a different brand. She a different brand.
Mm-hmm.
This is some motherfucking. This is some knockoff shit. Like, I wouldn't even say knockoff because some of the knockoff look better than is better quality than the real shit. This is some real life.
These are clones.
Yeah, man.
These are clones. I don't care what nobody.
Modified. Definitely genetically modified. This can't be.
These are clones. I don't care what nobody say. It's the only explanation that makes sense. Because they look like us. They look familiar in general. They don't do what you expect them to do because they got a completely different software. You know what I'm saying? And
go ahead.
But they got a completely different software. And then on top of that, they raise copies of themselves.
Leaving the ugliest footprint on the planet. Yeah, man. If they was to find these motherfuckers footprint, nigga, 1,000 years from now, and look at this shit, I'm pretty sure they're gonna be like, God, archaeologists is gonna be like, what in the motherfucker?
Man, look, the driver definitely didn't see them. Yeah, straight up. The black car was in the right lane and turned off and kind of got lucky, you know. Probably had a better chance of looking at it. Then the driver in the red car clearly didn't. They just didn't see him. But who in the hell is looking for? Hey, watch out for the people fighting in the street. You know, that's probably below the headlight view. You know, because headlights don't point right at the ground; they point above it. So they probably was completely in the blind spot. They didn't know what was going on and crushed 2 people.
If I would have known that the world would be at this place that we're in today, when my daddy shot me out of his motherfucking rocket, I would have let the rest of them niggas beat me.
Well, like, why you brought me out here?
I'm out running these niggas for what? Out swimming these niggas for what?
For what? Let's see what else Lou got up here. He said it was a video a couple years ago where a girl got into an argument with her baby daddy and went and got her bro and her cousin and came back and baby daddy popped both of them in Detroit a couple years ago.
Yeah, you talking about the one when they went in the house?
And they went in the house, yeah. And they was on them steps. And
she was like, oh.
He was trying to, yeah. And then the guy that was recording, he was like, no. Oh. It's not funny.
niggas be getting their motherfucking issue.
Hey.
Like, they be giving them exactly what they be want.
Bruh.
God damn, you niggas.
And running up in the situation like Wile E. Coyote. You know what I'm saying? It like we watching the Itchy and Scratchy show. You watch The Simpsons, and then I don't know which one, the cat and the mouse, you know what I'm saying? And then somebody
said, hey, I know what I need you to do. I wonder if I can find this shit.
What's up?
I wonder if I can find this shit.
I'm gonna play another video while you I'm gonna play one of the videos you send me while you look for whatever you're looking for. Gonna throw out the club.
It look like Spirit again.
Yeah, I see
the yellow.
See the yellow.
If you want to get your ass snatched, jump on the Spirit plane.
What?
Niggas got the best bodyguards on. Get your motherfucker.
Well, they throwing them out the club on Spirit, boy.
Motherfucker. You come up in this motherfucker. Come on, Spirit. With the bullshit. Come on, this motherfucker. I bet you the motherfucker, the pilot be like, thank you for riding Spirit. Thank you for flying with the wonderful skies of Spirit. Any of you motherfuckers get out of line. We go George Floyd, your motherfucking ass. Fuck around. And find out. Have a wonderful flight. Thank you very much.
Take all instructions for the flight attendants.
Bitch.
What's this next one you got up here?
This a
Everybody's
nigga
mad
pilot
at
back
this
there.
woman for what she did on this plane. As you can see, she's seated next to the emergency exit, but so are the two people next to her. And when you're seated by an exit, it's your duty to agree to help passengers in the event of emergency
Don't
by
tell me.
opening the door, keeping the door clear of your luggage, and just being helpful in case of an emergency. Anyway, she was not compliant, and it took not only them getting the pilot, but even passengers on the plane were getting upset trying to get her off the plane, and they had to bring the police in. Normally, they would just reseat you if you aren't physically able to do what's required to open the door in case of an emergency, but it was actually her attitude that got her and everybody kicked off the plane. And here's a video of her coming off the plane after everybody else was already ejected and they had arrested her. At one point, she complied, saying that she would open the door and be helpful, but it was too late because she was already being ejected from the plane and the police
Unbelievable.
had already arrived. Lesson learned, just be helpful when you're on the plane.
We tired of you bitches. We tired of you motherfucking funny built. What's that nigga name off of the goddamn Incredible? Not the Incredibles.
Monsters Inc.
Yeah.
Mike
No.
Wazowski.
No, the nigga name off the Minions, man. The funny built nigga off the Minions. The daddy.
Oh, okay. You talking about I had
Is
I don't
it
know.
Gru?
Gru. Yeah. Gru.
Yeah, them hoes look like Gru, man.
Mike
built
was
like Gru, causing all the chaos. It goes back to the video. They be lying to the Grus. The Gru built women get lied to like they beautiful, man. Yeah.
Lou said he got to do some push-ups and stretches before he get it on Spirit.
No,
He said
all you gotta do is sit back and enjoy the goddamn show.
it's like WWE. Let's see what else you got over here.
Be like, I don't know why that 30-year-old man messing with that 21-year-old. I wanted him. I like him. Like, y'all gotta stop putting the blame on older men. I know y'all be like, why is he looking at her like that? Because if he was 18, she would be this age. Bitch, we're not that. We ain't meet when we was that young. We ain't. I was 21. He was 30-something. What's the fucking problem? He liked me. I liked him. He said his age. I said my age. He agreed. I agreed. Like, y'all gotta stop putting the blame on a man. Oh, he's a predator. No. We agreed. I didn't have to come around. You know what? One thing them older men gonna do, y'all? They go put something in your pocket. And I know you're like, that's why y'all like older men. No, I'm just saying, like, they know to be thoughtful of a woman. Like, younger generation think it's tricking and hoeing, but a real man taking care of real bills, been taking care of real bills. And if he got something for you, he got something for you. And on top of that shit, them niggas got experience in life. I was been kicking it with a man older than me in his 30s. Bro, they got so much knowledge. They're very, like, you can learn a lot. They're very teachable. So I just really hate when people just throw that, oh, he's a predator and she's prey on older men. Like, I genuinely like older men. I don't know where I got that from, but I do. My brother play. My sister is fucking 21 talking to a 30-some-year-old, but she like him. I do. I genuinely be liking the man. I genuinely be enjoying the conversations. I genuinely be enjoying the dates. I genuinely be enjoying the sex. I be really enjoying everything.
Man, what inspired you to send that one in?
I don't know. I be out here trolling. I don't know if you can go to
I go to your page and I see what was going on. You know what I'm saying? So hey, you go ahead with this one.
Yeah, man. It just hate. It's just it's the pushback, man. You gotta if you're gonna date younger women in our society because of the way it's constructed, however it got here, you gotta accept being a predator, being viewed as a predator, and you're gonna have to accept, people just generally not accepting how you moving. I don't get it. I don't understand it. I don't understand What do you not have to do for an older woman that you have to do for a younger woman? Like, what is it? The only difference is that this motherfucker could possibly get pregnant, but it's the same responsibility. There's a lot of stigma that's wrapped around manipulation. Like, but then we hear 40 and 50-year-old women saying, he brainwashed me. He was a narcissist.
He was a what?
He was a narcissist.
Hey, and then here's the other. What's so funny about that? Here's the other side of it.
Some of y'all older bitches is nasty as shit. Like, y'all on the same level as these niggas that's sitting on the Megan's Law. Y'all just real fucking nasty. Y'all done got away scot-free after all of these fucking years, after fucking with these little fucking boys. I done came across 3 different men, and they're in their 30s. One of them gonna hit me with I started eating the box at 8. What? The other one told me how one of you old bitches taught him how to eat the motherfucking box. You gonna lay down and be like, here, like this. You bitches make me sick, cause y'all literally out here touching on these little ass fucking boys. Teaching them how to do shit to women and shit. Got them thinking in they motherfucking head that they know how to treat a fucking woman. The whole time, they don't even know what the fuck they doing, but because you taught them some shit at a young ass fucking age. How?
So, who the real predator?
Oh man, if you're gonna go there, you might as well start. You should have just started, man, doing all the teachers that's fucking the kids, man.
Yeah, teachers getting pregnant by their students.
Whoa. Hey man, I mean, we was fucking our teachers in school too. I mean, when women are not very responsible when it comes to that shit. Yeah, we was knocking Miss Woodard back. Yeah,
Hey, hold up. So I honestly, from the bottom of my heart, think this is hereditary. I agree with you, Sydney. And said when you find a woman who attracts older men, and you trace the women she came from, it usually happened there too. Yep. Going back to that previous video, I agree with that.
What do you mean?
Meaning, like, when women experience a certain type of relationship, there's a certain type of man that's in the mix. Meaning, like, if you grow up seeing dysfunction, the dysfunctional behavior between a man and a woman, right? The type of man that mother attracts sets the template for what that daughter attracts in a man, right? So if she grew up seeing her mom with healthy men, hopefully she attracts a healthy man. There's a good chance that she would attract a healthy man. And then if he just so happens to be older, then she gonna have a natural inclination, because the children that witness that automatically having a connection with that older man if he's a healthy guy, you know, and it ain't gonna be easy to replicate. So when they do see an older gentleman that's showing some kind of interest and attraction to her, she's gonna feel safer with that, probably more than she would somebody in her own age bracket. Because just like that other chick that was talking, she in her 20s. It ain't that many men in her 20s that's gonna give her that same level of experience. So some women are attracted to being taught by older men.
I mean, that's ultimately the goal. Ultimately, the goal is to be led, you know. So,
So check this, right? Said my mother and father were 12 years apart. My sister's father was 17 years older than her. I don't attract men my age for anything other than the obvious.
And how old is Sydney?
Sydney, how old are you?
Yeah, let her disclose it.
Yeah. Because that's important, because, like, you know how, like, case in point, you know how some men have no problem with saying, dog, I love the hoes.
Sydney 31.
Yeah. So So you know how some men disclose, they be like, yo, dog, I can't, I'm just gonna be straight up. I love the hoes because most time their mamas was hoes.
Yeah, yeah, man. That's 17 years older than my mom thing. That's a seasoned nigga. That's
Yeah, yeah. You know what I'm saying? So like my sister's father was 17 years older than her, you know. So that there it is. You know, it's when you set a standard, it's just like if you come from marriage, like meaning like if your parents was married, you're gonna have an affinity for long-term relationships. If you come from a single parent household, and if you was a boy and you saw your mom deal with a bunch of different dudes, your perception of a woman is going to be utilitarian. You know what I'm saying? You're just going to see the utility in women. Because if you got some sisters that had a whole bunch of men, you already know the game. And then if you like women, you're going to have a utilitarian idea of what a woman's role is in your life. You know what I'm saying? It's not going to be a long-term situation. And especially if you got multiple sisters with multiple personalities in the house, the way you see a long-term relationship is going to be very, very different. And you're going to have to get away if you just want to be with that one woman. You can't have your family's influence around that relationship.
absolutely. I could definitely see that. I think it's more marriage than anything.
Yep.
Yeah, I think at the end of the day, when a young adult becomes a man, a young male becomes a man, you know, he learns how to manage. So, and that's what a lot of women complain about today is the men that they have to take care of versus the men that can take care of them.
Yep. Because the men, like shout out to Tiffany Marie. She was saying, I think at the time she was 39, and the men, and she likes older men too. And she didn't say nothing that she couldn't repeat. She said that the men that were in her age bracket were already broken because they was raised just like her, because they was raised by their moms. You know what I'm saying? That generation of men in that age bracket, those women already know most cases, if they're self-aware, that the man that's in her same age bracket is probably raised by his mother.
Yeah, now I was one of those guys, and it took me almost. It took me a decade. A decade. What really more than that? After 18,
Mm-hmm.
it took me about 10, 15 years just to become healthy enough to even be in a healthy relationship. And it wasn't taught by home. If it ain't taught at home, we're gonna fuck y'all up.
Shout out to Lou. He said my pops was 20 years older than my Mima. So, you know, there it is. The another thing too was it shows up in women differently when they're a little bit older than the man. And generally speaking, the women that are more dominant, if they're older than the man, that man is typically raised by his mother.
Yeah, because I have my ex. Remember the young lady that we was talking to?
Mm-hmm.
She's 44.
Yeah.
So she always have a couple steps on niggas.
Yeah. Look, stepson niggas. That's what that's what she turned y'all to.
Yeah. She
Yep.
have a couple steps on niggas, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But when you catch up with her, the reason why she like me the most probably out of all these niggas is because I put up the biggest fight.
And most of those women that are older that like younger men are raised by a dominant, unruly woman.
She was raised by her dad.
Really? That's a one-off. Was he like a player? Yeah, there it is right there. Who raised her dad?
He came up in the Arkansas. I think he came up the traditional way.
Mm-hmm.
He went to the military.
That I'm telling you, man, until when he went and got some discipline and how to streamline that and move it around, but you can't escape the roots though. Because case in point, I had a coaching session today, right? And guy was telling me his history about being bullied. he had a brother. He came from a 2-parent home. And we got down into the weeds of it. He couldn't explain why he had been bullied. And I asked him about his brother because typically your first bully will be inside your family. You know what I'm saying? Because whatever happens in your house makes you susceptible to what happens to you outside the house. You know what I'm saying? So he said he had an older brother that was 13 years older than him. And I was like, well, he was already out of high school by the time you had came along. So what was that about? You know, like y'all don't have anything in common. And then by the time we start going down the weeds of it, he had a really passive father. His that was raised by his grandmother. His wife came from a line of women that was dominant with 3 or 4 sisters. They go to church and she listened to the pastor more than she listened to her husband. He a workaholic because he just seen his utility, just checking off all the blocks. And in turn, if you got sons being raised in an environment where they see the woman not wearing the pants, what does that do to the sons? So they come outside and still get bullied by women. They get bullied by everybody.
Yeah, you got to, and they teach you, let a woman bully you. I think I had someone say something on Facebook. Let me see something.
Mm-hmm.
So I had a brother, James Manley said, females choose the ones who take care of her and future children. Younger men are building and older men have established.
Yeah.
Even when it comes to like emotional intelligence.
Mm-hmm.
Even when it comes to the inward development, like that's a really big thing. That's a big piece that's really missing in the young men today. And a lot of men our age have arrested development.
Yep. It's hard to deal with, because
Can we put that definition?
We're talking about arrested development. Sure. Hang on a second. I get to do this with.
I actually wanted to do an album called Arrested Development.
Isn't that an album title already too?
I think that's a group.
Yeah. Well, of course it's a group. I was wondering. I was thinking if it was
what's that song they did? That famous song with Arrested Development?
Oh, Everyday People.
Everyday People.
Hang on a second. Arrested. Can you see the screen?
No, not yet, but I see it down there in the little box.
Okay, hang on a second. I just want to make sure we oh yeah, let me pull this up on the stage. I hadn't done this. Arrested Development, right? Let's go for it. Oh, come on, chat. The hip hop group, all that. What is the definition?
I actually like that.
You like this right here? You doing a little education on it?
Yeah, we gotta do this more often.
Yeah, we will, for sure. All right. Let's read this. Arrested development means a stoppage or significant delay in normal growth or progress, whether that's physical, mental, emotional, or social. Here's a breakdown of how it's used in different contexts. Psychological and emotional definition refers to when a person's emotional or psychological development stops at an earlier age, kind of like when Shahrazad Ali said women stop growing mentally at age 14. For an example, an adult who reacts to conflict like a child may be described as having arrested emotional development, like the lady on the plane, right? I didn't do nothing. It's not an official medical diagnosis, but rather a descriptive term, sometimes used in therapy or social discussion. Medical developmental definition. Historically, it described a halt in physical or mental growth due to illness, trauma, or congenital factors. Today, more precise terms like developmental delay or intellectual disability are preferred in professional medicine and psychology.
Intellectual disability is a bad motherfucker.
Everyday usage is often used figuratively to describe immaturity, lack of progress, or someone stuck in a past stage of life. For example, he's 35, but still acts like he's in high school. Total arrested development. You like that? Yeah, that's pretty cool with using AI to help define some of this stuff too.
Yeah, that was hard. That definitely needs to be incorporated systematically in
yeah, when we come up with these definitions and we want to come up with these talking points and we want to define it further to go into more detail, we'll start doing this. Hey, shout out Lou, what's going on, man? Shout out to the brothers for dropping jewels on the young brothers. Yes, sir. Always teaching, man. Always teaching. Teaching is actually fun. Nobody don't want to think of this as teaching, but you have to use real world examples for people to accept what their limitations are. Because if you don't, this is the type of stuff that happens to your daughters and your sons.
Mad is, I ain't gonna lie, because I'm finna have a baby in 2 weeks, right? And this nigga playing with me.
I can't hear you. You sound far.
You still can't hear me.
I can hear you a little better now.
Okay, so I'm finna have a baby in 2 weeks by my baby daddy, right? We've been together. You must can't hear me while you shake your head.
No, I can hear you. I'm just listening to the way that you talk. I'm listening now.
Why are you shaking your head? What's wrong?
Go ahead.
So, yeah, like I was saying, I'm finna have a baby in 2 weeks. We already got 2 kids together, right? So, we just moved into a new house, and you know how, you have to wait for a process to get your keys. So, I've been over my folks' house, and he been over his folks' house. Tell me why he calling me every day saying he at his cousin's house and shit. Like, we still seeing each other. It's only been 2 weeks that this shit been going on. But come to find out, he at a bitch house the whole time.
Okay, so what are you asking me?
Okay, so we didn't get into it and all that. I didn't pull it up over in the apartments to where he was, because I'm thinking this was his cousin was at. Man, hell, we just arguing and all that and shit. I didn't get into it with the folks on Facebook. I'm just trying to see, should I just stop talking to his ass? Because at this point, I really don't even want him to see the new baby being born or even coming to the baby shower.
Something is wrong with you modern women. Something is so wrong with y'all.
Why you say that?
That's the problem. You don't even, the fact that you, something is literally wrong with y'all. Why would you up the relationship that he has with his child because he's sleeping with another woman?
No. See, he was just okay.
Answer the question. No, answer the question.
It's not. That's not the only thing.
Answer the question. Why? So what's more to it? Explain the more to it.
He was just telling me, when I left the hospital, it's one day we be cool, and then the next minute he was telling me that the baby needs to die and all of that. That's why I'm like, it ain't even no point in him seeing the baby if he's saying that the baby needs to die. He don't care about the baby, shit like that.
So it took you 3 kids to figure out that he was this type of man?
I mean, he wasn't even like this at first.
Oh, now he wasn't like that. Where's the accountability on your end as a woman that you keep giving your body to a man that hasn't put a ring on your finger?
And yes, we in a yes.
No. Answer the question. Where's the accountability as a woman, because you control access to sex, meaning he can't sleep with you unless you allow him to? Where's the accountability on you as a woman where you keep giving your body to a man and giving him you giving this man 3 children? Why do you keep giving him children and he has not given you the access of a long-term relationship? When do you look in the mirror as a woman and say,
I mean, we was just talking about proposing and shit.
No. I don't want to. You already got 3 kids. You have 3 kids with him. You can't talk. I could talk about anything. Niggas talk about how they gonna get their mama out of the hood and they be working at fucking Amazon making $37,000 a year. That don't mean nothing. That's a simple question that I'm asking you. When do you take accountability as a grown ass woman? How old are you? How old are you?
23.
You 23. That's, oh my goodness. How old is this dude?
And he's the same age. He's 23 as well.
Oh my God. Your life is over with already. You're about to go through so How old is your other two children?
Hold on, I'm trying to get back on the screen, but I can't.
How old is your other two children?
3 and 1.
And now you got another one. Again,
yes,
when do you as a grown adult woman take accountability for the man that you're sleeping with and keep giving your body to? So if he is everything that you're saying he is, when does your accountability come into the picture?
Really now, because I really see everything for what it is now. I mean, do you got kids?
No,
really?
I don't have any children.
So if you don't have kids, do you really understand how?
I have to have children to no, are you insane? Is something wrong with you?
No, I'm dead serious.
I have to have children and to have common sense. No, I have common sense. That's why I don't have children. My dick is not ripping and running in the streets. I'm smart with who I sleep with. I don't have any children because I make correct decisions. You have children because you've made incorrect decisions. So don't try to make it seem like I don't know what I'm talking about. So you got to deal with a woman with 3. You can only get advice from another woman who got 3 different kids from a motherfucker who ain't never put no ring on their finger. That ain't got nothing to do with having children. It has everything to do with having common sense. Are you crazy? You got 3 kids by a guy that you're talking about that you claim is everything that you're saying he is. Why do you keep fucking them? That's a simple question. I don't have to have kids to ask you a simple common sense question, lady. You're typing, so are you going to answer the question? If not, I'm going to get you up out of here.
I'm not even typing. I can't even see the live.
How you can't see the live?
That's what I'm saying.
Because you're probably off on another app typing. I hear you typing on your phone, lady.
I'm not typing nothing.
So are you going to answer the question? Okay, have a good day. You have a good day. She illiterate as fuck too. That's another thing too. Like that's why I was shaking my head because she illiterate. I just feel bad. I don't even feel bad though. I just feel like as like, man, y'all need to start raising y'all kids better, man. Y'all need to start raising these kids, but because there's no reason why she's 23 and she like got all this shit going on and she's just fucking oblivious to like her own decision making as a woman. That shit is insane to me. That's probably why she got 3 kids at 23, nobody around to keep it a buck with her. Exactly. And that's what's wrong, man. These motherfuckers be grown. Y'all need to stop with this whole trying to coddle motherfuckers. She got 3 fucking kids and you motherfuckers want to be nice and shit. She got 3 kids from the same man who was literally telling her, should I do? And then she's trying to, from the same niggas telling her he wants this child to die. And we don't even know if she being honest about that, but let's just give her the benefit of the doubt and say that she is. It took you 3 of these motherfuckers to get you to this point where now your thing is you don't even want your son, the father to be in the child's life because he fucking another woman. Because the woman's argument wasn't about her saying that that man wanted her child to die. She didn't bring that up first. The first thing that she brought up, her whole entire argument and her question was about he talking to another girl, should I leave him? So if you thought that him saying your child should die was this big old thing and that's the reason why you think he should not see your child, then you would have brought that up first. But you didn't bring that up. You brought up the fact that he was sleeping with another woman at another woman's house. That's the reason why you don't want him to see his child. So don't try to don't try to switch it to something else and try to say, oh, well, it ain't because he was sleeping with another girl. It's because he said he wanted my child to die. Why the fuck you ain't bring that up from the jump then? Because you know it was some bullshit. And you know when you actually think about it, that is kind of crazy that the fact that he's sleeping with another woman, now I'm going to think about him not seeing his baby. So I can't even imagine all the men that be trying to be in their kid's life and they can't because the mother is bitter, and the fact that he want to sleep with somebody else, that means that he can't be in his child's life. Some of you bitches are fucking insane.
Man. Low-level learners reproduce with low-level learners and make more low-level learners. I've been saying this for forever. The dude that is the father in that scenario, I guarantee you, like when she said he be over his folks' house, he live over there or whatever he doing, he outside. She is a member on the roster. That's just it. I'm always shocked that you know, as much talk that single parenthood and single motherhood has been had, that eventually women would have some sort of social impact in a positive way that shames the women that choose to do that type of way of being a mother, you know. But clearly at 23 years old, that's not happening. And I guarantee you she raised by the same type of mother that she's become already. Is it getting worse out there or is it getting better? Because I see conversations where there's a lot of young women that don't even want kids, and then I hear about this right here, and I'm like, where's the middle ground?
I have a daughter that's around that age, and I talk to a young lady that's around that age. Let me tell you something. None of them are promoted to listen to men. It's not something that's not in their community. They're not, because the wisdom and the common sense come from males.
Yeah.
A lot of them are taught by women. Like that's all they know is females delivering the information. So when a man come in there and in real time and is addressing their issues and is more sound, a lot of times they don't even know how to take it, or it just feels revolutionary.
What do you mean by that? Break it down on the revolutionary part of it.
I mean, it's totally against everything they was taught.
Gotcha. It's a 180. It is not. Is somebody's hit the pin on them?
Yeah, I told my daughter, man, she going through a heartbreak right now, and you know, everybody else, I don't know what type of conversation she having with her mama and them, but I'm pretty sure it ain't the type of conversation I'm having.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm telling her, you know, you got to take accountability because you gave your body to the motherfucker that you can't detach from, and you attacking him in any way and on social media or anything is a reflection of you. You look like the clown because you the one that can't shake the emotion. But if the only way you're going to be able to get ahead of this is unless you apply separation. And if there's separation, then you can you can switch the power dynamic. But right now you're weak. And the reason you're weak is because you gave yourself to a man. That's what you're supposed to do. But you gave it to a man that didn't have your best interest. That man did not change. You just never knew who the fuck he was because you didn't have the wisdom or the insight to see the game. You should have been, instead of calling your daddy for money, you should have been calling your daddy to give you some game.
Yeah. I can understand that too, because what a lot of people, I think men and women definitely accept the truth at different stages of maturity, right? The men, they have to be told, you know, like earlier when we started the show, we have to get rejected like all of our lives, right? You get told no, your happy moments or your W's come on your W's are like bookends, right? You start off with a win for some level of motivation, and then you take like 5 L's in a row, and then before you get to another win, and then you appreciate it, and then that chapter's closed. You repeat the process over and over again, and you know when you get told no, it's not. It becomes not complete denial. It becomes not right now. I got to work a little bit harder, right? But when you have that same conversation with women, they hear you hate me.
That's right. What's up, Jalen?
Yeah.
Jalen jumped over here on my page.
That's what's up. That's what's up.
Go into the YouTube page.
Yeah. Come on over to the YouTube channel. That's what we want to do, because eventually we'll start turning these things off. Hey man, y'all, if you're not already doing anything, y'all make sure y'all like, share, and subscribe. Come comment from the YouTube channel. You know, this is where the realest conversation on a Saturday night can be had. Better than
Yeah, go ahead and drop the commercial real quick so they can figure out YouTube. Everybody that's watching right now, go ahead and try to just get you on the YouTube. We like y'all on Facebook. That's cool.
Yeah.
But we have more interaction. We can see what you guys are typing if you come to the YouTube side.
Yeah, let me hit this form real quick. Glad you made it this far. First thing I want you to do is go ahead and click subscribe. Make sure you like and share and support and subscribe to the notifications. Then when you get here, I want you to click the podcast link. You see that? Then I want you to go over there to where the arrows are pointing to the Beyond the Algorithm playlist and subscribe there. That way you get all of the updates. And now we'll continue. You like that? I was ready. You know what I'm saying? I had it built in a long time ago. So it was a perfect time to do this, you know?
Yeah.
But no, yo, this is wow. You know what I'm saying? Like you're coming from a real world experience, right? You're seeing your daughter going through her decision making with the men that she chose, with the man that she chose. Then what is the experience of the woman that you're dating that doesn't have any kids?
She young.
Yeah.
Shout out to Lou, man. Yeah, we know you a misfit. Yeah, we know you is definitely a misfit. You do not fit in nowhere. My man from the D. Yeah, and with the young lady I'm talking to, the young lady, she just don't know what she don't know.
So she just completely green.
Well, she don't. It's not. I wouldn't necessarily say green. What do you mean by green?
I guess I just haven't had that particular experience. You don't have anything to relate to it.
Well, these women, they don't have nothing to relate to at 40.
So
we're talking about social emotional development.
Okay.
We're talking about emotional intelligence and relate. They all the same.
Mm-hmm.
When you got your wife, she was at a point that she's not now.
Correct.
With your guidance.
Right.
She's there.
Yeah.
The only difference is that she's in a stage in her life where she's in her 20s where everything is new.
Yeah.
Most of the time, the second stage is when they experienced everything, but they're still in the same emotional state.
Gotcha. Yeah.
So she just got more energy and more innocence, and she has more open-mindedness. You know what I mean? That's where it looks like naive. But she had, because she has she's in a youthful stage in her life.
Yeah.
She still have youth. And and everybody has to tap into in order to grow and become something great, you have to be able to hit a factory reset and tap into your inner child. She just hasn't been so damaged away from hers.
Yeah. Yeah. That makes a lot of sense. Yeah, it makes a lot of sense.
That's all it is, G. A lot of motherfuckers. The only thing with that is a lot of times when you stabilize them when they're young like that, they'll feel like they're missing something.
Yep.
And then they'll go out and realize that they had the game, they had everything working in their favor the whole time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's the biggest trick. The biggest enemy is other women. What they say, honest. He said this is what Lou said. Truth and honesty and logic are enemies of a lot of women because their mothers taught them not to listen. Oh, that was on point. That was 100% on point. Want to bring it back?
Yeah. Pull it up. Shoot, man. We need to get the guys like the ones that's active in the game. We definitely want to feature their commentary and get them up here. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. The only difference between this young lady, this woman in her 20s, early 20s, and a woman in her 40s is that her coochie might be tighter, and she just have less experience being disappointed.
Yep.
And she's approaching a stage where she might challenge the very thing that is keeping her stabilized because of you other bitches.
Yep. Look, I say they all just emotional toddlers. They can get pregnant. So let me play this next one right here.
Supposed to be prison. But some of these mothers out here don't raise their sons. They keep them. They ain't building men. They build replacements. They don't want no child. They want a provider, protector, a partner, and then call it love. You got men out here in their 30s and 40s who never lived alone. Not because they can't, but because they've been guilt-tripped into carrying their mama's mistakes, paying her bills, fixing her problems, funding her drama. All while she playing helpless. And the sad part, he think it's his duty. Because since he was little, she made him think he owed her for being born. That's not love. That's manipulation, disguised as motherhood. You don't make him responsible for the life you fucked up. And the moment he meets a woman that actually loves him, here come the mama. Jealous, insecure, throwing shade like, she using you. No, baby, you've been using him his whole life. Half these men can't love right. Not because they don't want to, it's because their hearts been hijacked since childhood. They were groomed to rescue, not receive, to fix, not feel, to serve, not live. Healing don't start until you cut that cord. You can love your mama and still set boundaries. You can respect her and still move out. Because if you don't break that cycle, you're going to raise another generation of broken men who think being a provider means being a prisoner. Aaron.
Who is that man?
I go find him. I just saw this clip and I felt like it would be a good topic, you know what I'm saying, to bring, well, a good video to bring into this discussion.
Hey, I want to follow him.
Yeah, I'll find him. But what you got to say about this? Because see, because this is the
damn cold.
Because this is the other side of that long video where the girl was talking about, you know what I'm saying, the dude that got her pregnant. This is the other side of it, because I believe that the men and the women that reproduce with each other and create those parental issues, they all raised by the same type of mother. And what he's describing probably fits the behavior of the dude that got that girl pregnant. What you got to think about this? Yep. Perfect example of children that grew up with non-disciplinary parents. Then they grow up to bully their own kids.
Oh, my boy, he must have just joined your damn page.
Hey, shout out to Zonafied Family Networks 1163. Appreciate that. Hold up. Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Appreciate that. Appreciate that. Yeah, man. What you got to say about the son husband topic that my man was speaking on?
Man, bro, I was just really blown away by his delivery and how informative he was on that. That was it cut from the same cloth as me. That's for damn sure.
Yeah, I figured you'd appreciate that.
Yeah, he one of them guys. I like him.
Yeah.
He nailed it. He nailed it. That man nailed it. He hit every point that we can ask for when it came to that. Being guilt tripped, can't have a healthy relationship, being manipulated. You know, I always say that women they disobey our fathers, and then they try to make our father's sperm take care of them instead of be obedient to them instead of them being obedient to our fathers. You didn't want to play by my daddy rules, but you want a part of my daddy in order to take care of you.
That's deep. Boy, that's so deep and twisted. Because a lot of the times, like you see me when I made those posts where I say, hey, man, he acting like he got his mama's last name, or I could tell he raised by a woman. And these things are not attacks. They're just observations of said behavior. And a lot of women that end up being older than the man, these are the men that they go after. These are the men that they go after. These are the ones, because that older woman vibe is going to be more attractive to guys that have been in relationships with their mothers, unfortunately, So whether it be, especially the son husband type of relationship, Jessica, shout out to Jessica. My sons owe me nothing, just like my daughters. I don't know. Maybe I love this, to see my children become themselves instead of worrying about them becoming like me or their fathers. Yep. That's when you got a healthy environment, when you could think about other people. When you're thinking about maintaining your sanity through other people, you're the problem. Most times you by yourself and you clean the straws.
Yeah, they don't even want to be grandmas these days. They want to go to the local club every weekend.
Yep, twerk with their daughters.
Man, they want to go on vacation. As soon it's time for me to do this, they act like motherfucking being a mother is a jail sentence.
Yeah, for sure. Man, look, it told us to put our links in the chat. Coming up. Let's see here. Then the conversation that goes along with this is just so difficult to have, because the level of insecurity that a lot of men have when you talk about this topic, they usually come from the same type of mindset. And I found this video because it fits this too.
You know what makes street niggas so intimidating or scary? It's that poor emotional maturity. You never know what little small thing go set them off. Now they ready to kill you about it. That's a mix of pride, trauma, and bottled up emotions that turn into irrational behavior. That's why y'all come off as dangerous. Like they so quick to react but slow to reflect. Like they never been taught to control their emotions. It's like an adult with the emotional maturity of a kid, but the ability to hurt you. Like it's not the street part that's dangerous. It's when someone's emotional development froze at a young age, but now they're an adult with power, size, and no emotional control. And that makes them unpredictable. And they're often acting off of ego, fear, pride, and not logic. So any challenge, even something small, feels like disrespect or a threat. And they respond with aggression instead of awareness. And then they think it's cool to act that way because they get praised in their circles for acting tough and not thinking clearly. Oh, well, let's not talk about the dumbass women that influence it too. The women that reward that behavior and reinforce the mask. Because a lot of women are drawn to that confidence or danger because it feels like protection or dominance. But in reality, it's emotional instability packaged as masculinity. So that's teaching them to keep being irrational, reactive, and destructive. A lot of women only like hood dudes because they share the same emotional maturity. Mistaking chaos for chemistry, not knowing peace feels boring when you only ever known dysfunction. Like imagine how many long-term beefs started over something minor. And that weak-ass mindset gets glorified through music and turns it into culture. Now it's who they think they gotta be to get respect, validation, or love. That same pain that made them that way, poverty, rejection, and trauma, gets sold back to them as entertainment. And then they like to move in groups because it gives them a sense of power, strength, and identity. It's like the group becomes their armor, strength in numbers, validation from people who live by the same code. And when a group takes over, individual logic disappears. One person might not even be tripping, but the group saying, we on that.
What you got? He miss anything?
And these young niggas is more insightful than ever.
You see that? I'm glad you said that. You see the gap. You see the younger men are talking wisdom. They speaking from experience. They sound like they've healed from a lot of the same type of upbringing.
It's crazy because of Kevin Samuels. Like I'm telling you, this manosphere shit then did some shit. Like
you've been saying it.
It didn't got to the next generation more than the last generation got to us.
Yeah, I agree with that. Let me say something about that too, right? Because I'm 46 and you're 39. So what we got between us? 6 years, something like that.
7 years.
7 years. And you know, when we think about that, it's like my generation, the men older than my generation, I remember them being more competitive than anything. I remember them trying to keep the women away, watch out for the young dude that can take their old lady, worrying about having more money and spending more money on women to try to keep this gap between it. I'm not saying that has never happened or still doesn't happen, but the older generation spent a lot of money on attention from women. There's big simp energy, you know what I'm saying? And then if they weren't, and we're talking about older married men that used to move this way too. And if they weren't like that, they were also grass-fed lions, vegan tigers. They were you know carnivores that ate salads. They looked the part, but they have no grit, no edge, no nothing about them, and they would fold. And they had no spine, is you know what I'm saying, to stand in the gap on stuff. They couldn't even stand up to the women that they had kids with, you know. And his sons couldn't even learn from him. A lot of those men was raised by their grandmamas too. And like you talk about when we were having that conversation about the stepdaddy culture that was basically shotgun weddings that went crazy, you know what I'm saying, and it became a whole different type of man that came out of this, right? I was having a conversation on TikTok the other day because you know my TikTok name is Stepdaddy Shop, you know, and I came up with the name because a lot of these men and the children that's been raised in the stepdaddy era are the main people beefing with each other. You know what I'm saying? Like whether they saw their dad get stepped on or had a stepdaddy that their mama didn't respect, they witnessed a level of confusion and calamity that nobody can really relate to unless they're in a fight with them or not. You know, like because if you didn't grow up like somebody, you're less likely to have anything to talk about with them. You know what I'm saying? So all of these beefs and these conflicts are happening between like that video where the 23-year-old is making all these bad decisions with her body and the men that haven't healed from that same situation. But like the last two videos with a young man and this guy right here, they on a completely different frequency. And it's not acting like it's higher and mightier. They recognize the limitations in the world, you know what I'm saying, to be able to think the way that they thinking and explain what they're saying in such a few short words. So the gap is getting so much bigger that there's a whole lot less options for women to have relationships, but not just because they don't want the men that's out here, but the men don't want them either. At some point, they don't want an unintelligent person in their life at all.
They want something that's safe and safe to, you know, they want security. So
yeah,
whether they know it or not, no matter what manipulative tactic that they're using in order to get it, at the end of the day, what they're trying to do is get security.
Get security, yeah, because it's a lot of wild stuff happening where people are being called to task, and the people that women follow are different than the people that men follow. Case in point, it's one of my favorite therapists right here.
Heart is not done. Your heart is not done. Then I told myself, I'm pregnant. I'm going to accept my flaws, the flaws that I bring in this marriage. I'm going to apologize for it, and I'm going to work on it.
Flaws are one thing, but infidelity is another. Cheating on your spouse is another thing. Flaws are something like you're really messy, okay? You're not punctual, or you raise your voice in conflict when you really need to stay grounded. Those are flaws. Cheating is not a flaw, it's a choice. The reason why that's important, it's still a way of disowning the depth of what you did and who you are to do that kind of thing. Regardless, good for her for saying that she's going to work on that.
And when I take accountability and you take advantage of me taking accountability and you take that as a, see, I know she'd be back instead of me taking accountability and you taking advantage of that, it really just killed everything.
Okay, so you did an incredibly offensive thing, and we're not talking about Offset, we're talking about her, and this isn't personal, we're going to talk about the principle. You did a thing that disrespected yourself, your spouse, and the relationship. You don't then get to referee how they receive you. Understandably, you would like someone to graciously receive that, but the reality is you've done a huge damage to the relationship and to the trust. And it seems like, of course, it took a lot for her to humble herself enough to come back around and say that this is what she did. You cheat on her husband while she was also pregnant with their child. And then her ego took another hit when it wasn't received in the way that she wanted and was sort of thrown back in her face. See, I knew you'd be back. Well, number one, that's the reality. You did, in fact, come back around. And number two, you're getting a response that is congruent with what you did. So it's really great to take accountability. And at the same time, part of accountability is taking the consequences that come with the impact of what you've done. And sometimes that means being received coldly because of the damage that you have caused. Last thought here, someone receiving your apology coldly is not the thing that killed everything. We wouldn't even be in this sequence if you hadn't done that thing. The best thing all of us can do is respect yourself, respect your spouse, respect the relationship, and avoid getting in situations like this where your own choices lead to consequences that break your own heart.
What do you think about that?
Yeah, that was a definitely a master class on projection and just not being accountable. That was that. She broke that situation down.
Man, Taylor Chandler. I am Taylor Chandler. Y'all need to go follow her on TikTok and IG. She always is coaching women up and dropping some very, very succinct analysis on stuff. I like the fact that she brought it back to just say, hey, we just gonna talk about Cardi. Screw the fact that Offset cheated and all this other stuff, right? I'm not gonna do anything that lessens my opportunities and access to me. Meaning, like, it's not a flex to go out here and put yourself in a disadvantaged position. We're talking about the residual of it all. Like, okay, she go out here and cheat, and while she's still pregnant too, accepting everything as is being said. Why would you do that? Why would you move that way when everything's being documented video wise, and your kid's gonna grow up one day and go on YouTube and type in your name, and everything associated with your name, good, bad, and different, is gonna give them the truth, and not necessarily, well, the truth as the world documented it. How they synthesize it and line it up and choose to aim it at their parent is something else. See, that's the lucky part that the generation of parents that existed before us that raised us, they lucky they didn't have the internet, because most people that's in our age bracket come from families that still got a ton of secrets that they still lying about to their deathbed. But this right here, this is everything that they've done, for the most part. These are the blanks that's going to get filled in, and they get to compare it to the way that they're being raised. You know what I'm saying? In real time. But why would you put your kids at a disadvantage so that when they growing up and then they in school or whatever, and then they get to roasting and somebody bring up your mama or your daddy did this, and now they got to fight? Because we're not gonna act like this stuff don't happen, And of course, these kids that they raise in a privileged lifestyle, they're not gonna have to deal with that the same way that a non-celebrity would. But they got non-celebrities that's living this life too, making the same decisions with the same kind of parents.
Okay, so Jessica Lynn Frazier says he cheated, she left. Now she's the cheater. I don't know about this one here. She's been cheating, didn't like if she did. Well, this is what I gotta say. Two wrongs don't make a right, and the thing about marriage is about the family coalition, not about how you freaking feel. And if you're gonna leave, you gotta leave completely. There's a legal way to leave. You don't leave and still be married, or or morally have a baby in your womb and allowing another man to enter it. That is insane. That is insane. It just shows how women in America are socially they're socially promoted to do whatever they feel and not what's in the best interest of everybody.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, she's a cheater. She's a dormant cheater. If all it took was for somebody else to do it and to trigger that type of response, it was always inside of her, man.
She was gonna do it anyway.
Yeah, she a dormant cheater, man.
Let's move on to the next video. I got something for you.
In high school and when I was in college, I would always hear about girls getting trains ran on them. And it was always so disturbing to hear about. Even more disturbing to think about high schoolers doing such a thing, especially now that I'm grown. And a lot of these boys would be putting shame on the woman, but the shame was misplaced. There are some men even now still reliving their glory days of running trains on women. And somebody should have told them that was a homosexual activity. And they will argue you down and say, no, it's not. You're literally bonding with your homeboy engaging in a sexual activity. You are having intimate relations with your homeboy. And I hate to get explicit, but you're all exposed. You've seen each other's privates. You've seen each other naked. You're penetrating the same woman. Soul ties everywhere. You literally were bonding and creating multiple soul ties with all the men involved and that woman. Somebody should have told y'all that participating in activities like that opens the door for homosexuality. And men rejoicing in that is not anything to be proud of. You shouldn't even want to tell people you did that. I've even seen men bring it up online and be just laughing. You shouldn't even be laughing. You even laughing at it should be sus. Matter of fact, you should be apologizing. Even if she was a willing participant, you should be feeling sick to your stomach. You even did that. Even exposed yourself to that or exposed somebody else to that. Like, people be laughing, but that is legit trauma for everybody involved. And if you engaging in stuff like that, you need to stop, because it's going to open the door for you to be more than what you want to be. Because a lot of those men that participated in that ended up venturing off into some other stuff to scratch that itch. Some of y'all need to repent for real. And I feel like a lot of boys were doing this too young because they were exposed to porn too early, or they were being touched. And they went to school or wherever and began to influence other boys. Imagine being that young and being that perverted for that long. What do you think that's going to do to their brain? Y'all got to protect these boys.
And be that. Don't be in front of us and acting like a straight up G, and then you get over here and you letting these boys bust up your back. Because you know, it gonna come to the light. And yeah, I want to put that out there, man. This man ain't never seen me naked. I ain't never seen him naked. We don't desire to do no shit like that. We ain't going out like that. And we were wild young teenagers. And
we before that X, that X,
Yeah.
a lot of that shit fucking with a lot of these boys' heads. I don't know. Maybe they're using X as an excuse to open them doors that they really want to open. You know.
I threw the Pimp C clip on at the end of that video. But what you got to say about that, bro?
I think it's true.
I do too. I swear I do, because man, I have never had a desire to share the same wet hole with my homeboy.
I've done it.
I can't do it.
I've done it, and it don't take away from the facts. And it starts by going under that damn bed and finding that big booty part goddamn 2 tape. Volume 2. and then motherfucking Jada Fire.
What's that part? Volume 2.
Big Black Booty Volume 2. Stupid, man. You was an idiot, man.
I'm gonna say Volume 2.
That nigga childish, boy. That's like
the fact that you say, it's under the bed, who the hell stashed you in?
Shit, we was in all them niggas stashes.
Volume 2.
Motherfucker, whole scene come on as soon as that motherfucker come in. How you doing today? I'm just cleaning up your office. Fast forward, that motherfucker squiggly line. Squiggly line.
Oh man.
On the screen, like, what do you call that? You know what they call that? They call that nut.
The whole script. Man. Now this is the behavior that's basically in my opinion, this is what creates ditties. You know what I'm saying? Like eventually, there's only so long. Like, man, look, how many times we done seen what's your man name? Bobby Valentino, his name been in them situations. Puff, obviously, you know.
I mean, even if you watch too much porn, you'll stop watching conventional porn till you really get in anal. Everything you'll be watching big booty anal at this point.
And then a butt is a butt.
That's the next level, I think. I think after you watching a female anal, I think niggas go into something else.
Man, look, the overall is that I've said this. I believe adult film did to men what IG did to women.
Damn.
It completely distorted how you move with the opposite sex. You know what I'm saying? Like somebody in the comments now say, hey, my man Maury said, I struggle with porn. Like, just admit it. Well, like, I don't know why. You know, it has such a hold on people, but it does. And it has a hold on men the same way IG has a hold on women. All them filters and everything.
Man, you got to detox from that shit, man. I was addicted to porn at one point. Like,
how did you deal with that?
You got to understand the effects of it. Because they call it PIED. You know what that is?
No, but for the audience, break it down.
That's called porn-induced ED, erectile dysfunction.
Oh,
right. So what will happen is you'll get to a point where you will start losing, strength in a real intimate setting. You understand what I'm saying? And it's not because you physically can't handle it. It's because you mentally have put yourself in a position where, you know, your erection ain't as strong as it used to be. Not saying that you just completely limp or something like that, but you're not going to be able to maximize your potential as a man when you are getting off on images versus actual reality.
Man, that sound like what people was making memes about that rose tearing people up.
He said the Bible talks about that.
What the Bible say about it?
What does it talk about?
Yeah, he talking about porn. I guess he started talking about porn and the or whatever. I guess a level of self gratification. Images is just images, but okay.
Yeah. I'm with it.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. You gotta be careful, bro, because it'll really mess up your real life performance with somebody if you. And then the only way to cure that is to just to go cold turkey and not do that, so that it'll reset your mind.
Yeah.
So you got to go like months. Yeah.
Yeah, that's wild.
Yeah, bro.
That's a real thing though, man. Like if people are dealing with a lot when it comes down to.
But this generation of men is they're experiencing erectile dysfunction at a young age because of the porn. They don't know no other way besides getting that dopamine and those endorphins by self gratifying themselves, and they've been having access to the internet. Back then, we had to go under the bed, hide upstairs, play the video, hurry up and sneak off to that motherfucker. These days, these kids got it on their iPad.
Yeah. Yeah, man. It's I wonder what triggers. Obviously, you're gonna have some curiosity, you know what I'm saying, as you go through hormonal changes and all that good stuff, right? Um, yeah, we're using StreamYard, Lou. Yeah, we're using StreamYard. You're gonna have some obvious hormonal changes and attractions to certain things and curiosities and all this stuff, right? But an addiction is something that's like, what's the trigger for it? Like what?
It goes back to childhood. You busting a nut. If you a sex addict and you get to getting off, and you don't have nothing to get off with, you're gonna supplement you getting off through the internet.
Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like if you've been busting nuts since you was 10, 11, 12, 13, and you're in a situation where it's not even available, or the type of, or the body type or what you want ain't in front of you. Because I remember watching porn where I was in a relationship. Dog said I started getting off at 16. And once your body get used to that feeling, you're gonna chase that feeling. That dopamine, that chemical that release is gonna be released, and you're gonna keep going after that chemical release, bro.
That's exactly why I said poor sexual discipline is a mental illness.
It definitely is a mental illness. You'll be in the There's niggas out there that go to break on work and jack off in the toilet, nigga, just to motherfucking get it, just to rejuvenate. It's like smoking a cigarette.
Damn. Yeah, man. I've heard the stories, but like actually knowing somebody that's dealt with that, or having somebody that can explain it from a real world experience, people that's willing to discuss it, this is new. And I think men are getting to the point where they're not afraid to have these discussions. It's not embarrassing. I mean, it's real, you know.
Well, you got to be careful before you put your dick in the dirt. If nothing motivates you to stop, just know that you need to stop before you put your dick in the dirt. And if you wanna have a healthy sexual experience with a woman, and feel that same feeling that you do when self-gratifying yourself, you're gonna have to think about right now, and think about you potentially being embarrassed and being less than a man because you can't get your man up at a young age.
Wow, man. This is this is making me think about how complex communication really is between men and women, you know, that might be single. Because it's like Maury, like for him, that he represents a demographic of men, and whatever his age is, the women in his age bracket, they're communicating a certain type of way because they've been groomed and coached by other women that are going after transactional means. And so the men see less value in the women, and the women see less value in the men. And it's for completely different reasons other than what it was before. Like we had more, like my generation of men and women had more of a Steve Urkel chasing Laurel type of situation. You know what I'm saying? You had a lot of baby face music, coming up with these unrealistic relationship ideals, and creating chaos, basically, not knowing who the hell they was attracted to. But they can't even get that far with this, between social media, hormones, and the type of households they were raised in. Because a lot of people don't even know what type of parents they have. Like, for real. They just know they probably got a mother and a father, but hell, their parents, their communication with their parents has changed because of social media. I don't like blaming social media per se, because we get good information and good dialogue off of it too. You can't complain. You can't use social media to complain about social media. You know what I mean? I think you have to really go a step further and say, what's the psychological imprint of the person, And where did they get that from their mother, or how much of their mother's psychological imprint is on them for that decision making matrix? Because why do you choose what you choose? You know, so all those things considered, it makes me have to try to ask better questions, because why are you attracted to things that don't want you?
Yeah, I mean, piggybacking on somebody else's intimacy through porn is almost it's a
You're a cuck. You're really a cuck if you're just sitting there thinking about it. You're watching someone else be pleased, or please each other,
and that's exactly how you need to see it.
Yep.
You're a peeping Tom.
You're a peeping Tom. You might as well just say, "Can I sit over here?" And you get a hotel room. There's always that chair you never sit in. Let me just sit right here. Don't mind me. It's the same thing.
And then you're getting it off. Like,
yo, it's like, right there, Maury being real honest tonight. Said my dad barely disciplined me, and look, I believe that men and women that are in these extreme sexually undisciplined mindsets are really in a super stressful, anxiety-driven situation.
Let's be real. If we was to say between 1 and 10 people that are between the ages of anybody sexually active, I would say 60 to 70% watch porn.
Fair. There's been plenty of studies to capture that too. Because
go on ChatGPT right now.
I'm finna do it right now. You right with me. Hang on a second. Let me get it staged real quick.
And that us being hypersexual works and it don't work in our favor.
No, it doesn't.
You know how many girls that I done turned out?
Man.
That young lady I be dealing with, what the fuck you think she going through?
Right. What question do we want to ask ChatGPT?
I'm gonna ask between people that are sexual active, what percentage of them watch porn?
Okay. Let me remove this right here. Let's see here.
Yeah, if you're gonna jack off, do it without porn, dog, because that'll fuck your whole fucking world up.
Man, it's like compound dope. Let me get this screen set up the right way. Okay. Ask that question again. What percentage of people that are sexually active watch porn?
Yeah. Well, use your motherfucking imagination, nigga.
We'll start with this one right here. ChatGPT says there isn't a definitive percentage for how many sexually active Americans watch pornography, but here are some relevant data points. A study found out that about 58% of American adults report having watched the P word at least once in their lifetime. Same study found that about 27% report watching in the past month. One MTurk-based sample found that 91% of men, 91.5% of men, and 60.2% of women reported consuming the P word in the last month. I'm trying to keep that word down. Amongst practicing Christians in the United States, they found 54% reported consuming P at least occasionally. So routinely, half of people consume it routinely. More recent reports show 61% of Americans say they view P at least occasionally, an increase of 55%. Women reported rates have increased. Interpretations and caveats. These numbers reflect general adult populations, not specifically sexually active individuals. So the true percentage among the sexually active may be higher. Goes to your point, Datre. Since sexual activity and P consumption likely correlate. Self-report surveys may underestimate actual usage due to stigma or vary by survey method. Definitions vary. Watch porn once in the last month, occasional, etc. Some studies count any lifetime exposure, others frequent use. Rates differ significantly by gender, age, and other demographics. For example, men report much higher usage than women. For your work, since your focus includes issues of masculinity, emotional health, and sexual behavior amongst young men, you might consider using the 60 to 90 range for men and 40 to 60 range for women as a working benchmark, with the caveat that this is general usage, not exactly sexually active and watching P. If you like, I can try and find a study. All right, chat, you've done a good job so far. So this is
how would it call cancer though?
Let me go back to that. Where are you seeing the cancer part? What did I miss?
You see what I put on the screen? Don't watch porn; it destroys.
Oh, dopamine receptors and cause ED and will lead to prostate cancer. Let me go ahead and find. I might well search it up. Let me see what ChatGPT says. ChatGPT says about that. Can porn cause cancer in any way? I want to see what it says. What the evidence does say: for most cancer, often discussed with sexual health conversations, prostate cancer in men, studies indicate that a higher ejaculation frequency through intercourse and/or masturbation is associated with a lower risk. For example, a large U.S.-based study found that men reporting greater than 21 ejaculations a month had less than 19 to 22% lower risk of prostate cancer compared to men reporting 4 to 7 a month. Another systematic review on sexual activity and male genital tumor risk concluded that sexual behavior can play a role in tumor risk via sexually transmitted infections like human papillomavirus infection, HPV, and penile cancers. But again, it did not implicate pornography. On the broader mental health behavioral front, frequent pornography consumption is linked in some studies to higher levels of anxiety, stress, and identity issues. Oh, that's very important. I'm gonna put a little highlighter right there. What it doesn't show, there are no credible peer-reviewed studies that show pornography is linked to cancer. The studies on ejaculation and prostate cancer risk treat sexual activity ejaculation frequency as the variable, but not specifically pornography use, which includes masturbation, intercourse, or both. So you can't extrapolate porn use increases or decreases cancer risk from them. Correlation does not equal causation. For example, the higher number of lifetime sexual partners linked to higher cancer risk in older adults may be because of related exposures, STIs, tobacco, and alcohol, rather than the number of partners alone. That's from Harvard Health. Implications for your work. I'll come back and check that out. But that was the meat and potatoes of it. But going back to this part right here, this is what we can probably talk about the most because people lose themselves in the opposite sex, the same sex, or even just sex in general. On the broader mental health behavioral front, frequent pornography consumption is linked to some studies of higher levels of anxiety, stress, and identity issues. This is why I talk about rule number 5 so much. Because when you start getting into who's addicted to what, why, and what they pay attention to, we have to start looking at the outcomes. And the only thing that really counts is how do you behave. People measure issues by behavior and reaction and what is stimulating the event. Well, over a period of time, if all your outcomes are associated with conflicts, having depression, not getting the desired outcomes that you want, and still looking for some sort of distraction or some sort of dopamine hit, we have to start looking at what are the activities associated with your behavior. And this is a great example of such because this is all self-inflicted at this point. Nobody is doing this to you. This is the choice that you make. this is the way that this is the path that you choose to, I guess, distract yourself and, self medication. Some people like alcohol, some people like drugs, some people like, uh, I guess, self sexual satisfaction in extreme doses, or at least they perceive the practice of it as being the only way to deal with their anxiety. But for those of you that may be having some anxiety issues, that's kind of self-inflicted based on the way that this particular statement was made by ChatGPT. But what do you think? I am standing on the fact that even though that my interpretation of poor sexual discipline is not in some DSM, but most of those behaviors that are aligned with a particular mental illness do have hypersexuality as part of it. I know being bipolar is part of that too, but I think poor sexual discipline alone is the issue by itself, and it's used as it is a response to something else. I believe hypersexual people are always going to be trying to make babies, overstimulate. They don't have time to think. They don't know what it's like to not have stress as a filter before they make a decision. And when you can't solve your immediate problem or can't determine what is triggering you to feel this way and why are you always in these conversations where really you trying to manipulate your way into somebody else being responsible for your emotional wellness, you might want to give that some thought. You guys need to go to therapy if you fit any of these descriptions that's come up on this screen. If you've been triggered by any of the conversation, you might need to go talk to a therapist. It can be helpful. I promise you it can. And we got to learn how to deal with stuff ourselves. Ain't nobody coming to fix nothing. All right. And we really got to be honest about what is really something that we can fix in the middle of all this government stuff that we talk about, politics, the social issues, other people's business. Pretty much when it comes down to things that we can solve, we can't fix racism. You can fix obesity, and you can fix where you put your meat at, and you can fix who you open your legs to for the ladies. You know what I'm saying? But all of this other stuff, if you don't get control of those, if you don't get control of your fork and who you putting your fork into, you're not going to be able to take advantage of a clear thinking mind. You're going to completely remove all accountability, and it's going to always be somebody else's fault. Always be somebody else's fault. So when we start talking about when we start highlighting poor sexual discipline, this is us basically homeschooling ourselves again, because all they did was show you how to use your body parts. If you had sex ed in school, they showed you what the body parts did, and through demonstration and like just watching the growth of your family, you see that relationships and connections with the opposite sex obviously are going to produce children at some point. But they don't talk about why you're attracted to certain people. And that has its own origin story that comes from you observing relationships from your time as a child to present. So keep all of that in the forefront. Well, add this to what's going on in the forefront of your mind, because you've never had this kind of conversation where you felt you could talk like this and say, you know what, man, I'm not alone. And eventually we're going to all have to account for the way that we move and what we think and where we want to be. So when we talk about these topics, I believe, do we believe they come more out of a two-parent or a single-parent home as far as men are concerned? I don't know, but I want to play this video right here.
I need y'all to help me understand why my son hate me. I finally came to the conclusion and had to accept the fact that my oldest son hates me. And I can't be mad at him for it because it's my own fault. I am just really sad today. My son and I, we don't talk much. I try with him. He just doesn't like me. I was 19 when I had him, and I made a lot of mistakes as a parent, and I've been trying to make up for it. And he just hates me so much. And it hurts so bad. He's my only child. And I just want him to love me, and he doesn't. He just hates his mother. It's so hard.
It is extremely painful to love a child that does not love you back, especially after you have been really good to them.
Y'all know I'm a mama for my oldest child, a 17-year-old, and I'm just gonna say I feel like Jit don't like me. I feel like Jit do not like me, and I can't fathom why.
That's a whole nother show.
High level manipulation.
Yeah. Next week's show, we're gonna definitely address why children hate single mothers.
Got to.
This is not us addressing this right now would not even do it any justice.
It won't even do it any justice, But talk about the manipulation though. Because think about this. Hold up now. Chill out, Amber Alert. Stop stealing these kids, man. But going back to that video where the young man was talking, the one that you said you liked his delivery on the talking points. Do you want me to play that one more time and so you can see that again?
I don't need to see that again.
Okay, cool.
Unless we're gonna use it as a
I just kind of want to use it as a prop to keep the context, you know what I'm saying, in there. Is that all right?
Yeah, you got how many viewers watching? 10?
I think so.
Yeah, go play it for them.
Yeah, because they might not have seen it the first time, so keep everything in you know what I'm saying, in the flow of stuff. So this young man had a great talking point that was along the same lines as the video. It's loading up right now. And keep that video in mind that you just saw about the women that are mothers complaining about their sons not liking her. And then watch this.
To be praising. But some of these mothers out here don't raise their sons. They keep them. They ain't building men. They build replacements. They don't want no child. They want a provider, protector, a partner, and then call it love. You got men out here in their 30s and 40s who never lived alone. Not because they can't, but because they've been guilt-tripped into carrying their mama's mistakes, paying her bills, fixing her problems, funding her drama. All while she playing helpless. And the sad part, he think it's his duty. Because since he was little, she made him think he owed her for being born. That's not love. That's manipulation, disguised as motherhood. You don't make him responsible for the life you fucked up. And the moment he meets a woman that actually loves him, here come the mama. Jealous, insecure, throwing shade like, she using you. No, baby. You've been using him his whole life. Half these men can't love right. Not because they don't want to. It's because their hearts been hijacked since childhood. They were groomed to rescue, not receive. To fix, not feel. To serve, not live. Healing don't start until you cut that cord. You can love your mama and still set boundaries. You can respect her and still move out. Because if you don't break that cycle, you're going to raise another generation of broken men who think being a provider means being a prisoner. Parenthood ain't supposed to be prison.
Come on now. So when you put that back in context with that previous video, you see how they kind of line up or whatever. Because the women over here crying and having the same type of manipulative display,
What are your thoughts?
That like they're being the victim, talking about Jit don't like me, you know what I'm saying? Leading into it with tears and manipulation, trying to win favor automatically. And then this young man comes up here and then levels the playing field and puts it all in the context. Obviously, this is going to be expanding on topic going forward, but these are the things that men are having to recover from before they even find someone that they can be in a relationship with.
Yeah, I always say I'm growing up. I remember like, why did you leave me alone with that motherfucking woman, bro? Shit, I got a daughter right now whose mother's who practicing parental alienation. A lot of the men just they reach a level of emotional maturity where they realize what the fuck you did.
Yep.
And then they don't really take accountability. So,
man, you got to stand on your square with women, even your own mama. Don't flinch when they start crying. You damn right. If she crying, she lying. Because if you've had all the power and all the authority, right, as a parent, what are your tears do not give you any, they don't take away from what you did. It's like a child. It's amazing how they go in child mode, right? Because they wouldn't accept that. How many times when you was a kid, right, and your mom say, I give you something to cry about, or you, even if nobody said that to you, you know, adults, that every child has heard that phrase before. It's amazing how parents can make excuses that they wouldn't accept from their own kids.
Yeah, G. And we had a good show tonight.
Yeah, man, it was amazing.
We had a really good show.
Yeah. So shout out to everybody in the chat that's been riding with us. You know what I'm saying? To the folks on Facebook.
Whole time.
Man, the whole time active. Shout out to Jess, Maury, Lou. Man, the folks that's watching on YouTube, the people that's streaming on Twitch, man.
Zonified. I mean, y'all boys showed up today. I mean, Sydney.
Yeah, shout out to Sydney. Always.
Ryan. Hey man, shout out to Eric. Shout out to Xavier Clager. Shout out to Jalen Bossway. Man, who else I need to shout out for?
Man, come on. Yeah, man. Look, we gotta keep it 1,000 with the folks that ride with us. You know what I'm saying? Because we got a bigger mission. You know what I'm saying? And we're just gonna keep it popping. And I know eventually we want to get to doing more shows, but life be life, and we try to squeeze out. We squeeze out. You know what I'm saying? At least one show a week, and it's gonna get better. I promise you that.
Shout out to Rashida.
Mm-hmm.
Shout out to Sam.
Mm-hmm.
Shout out to Benjamin.
Yeah.
Shout out to everybody. James Manley's on the 5 networks. That's definitely it. I'm over here digging in my nose, y'all.
Yeah.
It is what it is. I put boogers. If you in a relationship with me, I'll put a booger on you.
Man, I'm shutting it down right now before you get a booger on me.
I'll put fart on you.
But hey man, we'll see y'all on the rebound. All right, folks. Appreciate you sticking with me to the end. This has been another episode of Beyond the Algorithm. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe. Go get the book. And most importantly, I will see you beyond the algorithm. That's where life actually happens.